Hello citizens of our nation, RAWR here, and I'm gonna show you guys how to turn to the dark side in less than 2 minutes!
You will join me in the dark side.
I will destroy you!
You will join the dark side.
I will join the dark side, my master. So, Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is by far the best film in the prequel trilogy, but that is not saying much at all. Saying that Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is better than Attack of the Clones or The Phantom Menace is basically like saying that getting your arm chopped off is better than getting your leg chopped off. So if you're getting your arm chopped off or your leg chopped off, I don't know if either one is necessarily better than the other, but what I do know is that both scenarios will suck either way. So when you're sitting down to watch Revenge of the Sith, you know that it's not gonna be as bad as The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, but you're still not in for a good movie. This movie still sucks. What makes Revenge of the Sith better than Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones isn't that it necessarily improves upon the problems that were present in those films. It's because it has less of the same problems. Like, for example, there's pretty much no Jar Jar Binks other than like 1 or 2 small cameos. It doesn't have as much cringy dialogue as Attack of the Clones. There's no stupid kids around really, and all the stupid kids that are in it die. But other than cutting down on those things, the film does pretty much nothing to improve upon the previous installments. So let's talk about how Anakin Skywalker was the most annoying, most whiny, spoiled little brat who ever lived. Like seriously, I could not stand him in this movie. I should be the most powerful Jedi ever, but I'm not. So I'm gonna be mad about that. I want to be a Jedi Master, but the Council won't promote me to that level, so I'm gonna whine and bitch and moan about that. Like seriously, I couldn't believe that this stupid, spoiled kid is the guy who turns into Darth Vader. Like really? He's the most annoying, most ungrateful piece of shit ever. Like, if I were his master, I would have kicked his ass out of the Jedi a long ass time ago. So basically, if a Jedi wants to be on the Jedi Council, they have to be elected by all of the council members, and then that Jedi will be on the council. But that's not how it happened with Anakin. Basically what happens is Chancellor Palpatine appoints him and requests that Anakin be a part of the Jedi Council just to be his personal representative. And while the council didn't like that, they accept it. However, they don't grant him the rank of Master, which is the rank that every other Jedi on the council has, and Anakin doesn't like that, and he gets pissed off for no fucking reason at all. And even after this scene happens, Obi-Wan explains to Anakin, like, listen, Anakin, like, to be on the council at your age, it is such a great honor. Like, I don't get why you're so mad about this. Yet Anakin Skywalker continues with his bullshit, and like, what the fuck? What's so disappointing about this is because his relationship with the Jedi is one of the reasons that drives him over to the dark side. However, this isn't out of like pure anger or hatred or anything that you would expect Darth Vader to be feeling out of the Jedi. The Jedi have done absolutely nothing to him except treat him with respect and teach him everything he knows. So basically, he just turns to the dark side and against the Jedi because he's a spoiled little bitch who didn't get what he wanted. The other thing that really drives Anakin to the dark side is the fact that he's been having these visions about his pregnant wife dying in childbirth, and he wants to find a way to prevent this from happening and save her life. But in regards to that, like, there's 2 very important things that really don't make any fucking sense at all. The first thing is that Chancellor Palpatine promises the power to save people from dying as one of his ways to, try to get Anakin to turn over to the dark side. And after Anakin does turn to the dark side, one of the very first things that he says is, just help me save Padme's life. I can't live without her. And then Palpatine says, well, I mean, only one person has ever achieved, like, the power to save other people from death, but I'm pretty sure we can find out how. And then Anakin just goes along with it. Really? Are you kidding me? Why would you go along with it? Okay, listen. If I were in Anakin's position, I would have been like, you mean to tell me that you don't even know how to fucking do this shit? No, I'm out of here. Like, screw you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm going back over to the Jedi now. And the second stupid thing that makes no sense is the fact that when Anakin turns to the dark side and he sees his wife for the first time since making that turn, he chokes her and knocks her unconscious. Really, Anakin? I thought your whole purpose of turning to the dark side was just to save your wife's life. And now you're over here hurting her? What the fuck is wrong with you? And let's talk about how quickly Anakin turned over to the dark side. In the beginning of this movie, he's on a very fun adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're trying to save the Chancellor's life, and they make jokes at each other, and they're generally still on good terms. Very good terms. And even a couple scenes before Anakin turns to the dark side, he has another scene with Obi-Wan in which they're departing because Obi-Wan's going on another mission, and it is a very heartfelt goodbye. The biggest thing, though, is that Chancellor Palpatine reveals to Anakin that he is on the dark side, and Anakin's reaction was, he pulls out his lightsaber and he's like, I would certainly like to destroy you. I'm gonna turn you into the Jedi Council. And that's exactly what he does. But you see, the problem is, right after he alerts the Jedi Council, he has a sudden change of heart for no fucking reason. So he marches over to the Chancellor's office and saves him from the Jedi. What I'm really trying to say here is that the development of Anakin's whole turn to the dark side was very poor. It wasn't well done. There were a couple things here and there that were okay, that could have been expanded on, but overall, no, I don't buy his turn to the dark side for a second. They completely botched this badly. The acting was nothing special for the most part. The only two actors who really stood out to me in this movie were Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor Palpatine. Those two actors are fantastic, and they really make this film watchable whenever they are on screen. They're so much fun to watch, and they're really, really good. I love them. Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. No, he looked very bored, very stale throughout this entire film. Natalie Portman, same. Nothing has changed in terms of her acting ability as Padme, and quite frankly, it might even be a little bit worse because this film didn't really give the character of Padme much to do, so Portman had even less to work with this time around. And again, the chemistry between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, it just wasn't there. I don't buy their love story for a second. And there's a couple things in terms of the visual effects that I want to touch upon for a second, so let's go to that right now. Now, this entire film was shot in front of a green screen. Kind of like the green screen that I'm in right now, see? It's just like this green screen right here. And pretty much the only thing in this movie that was not CGI or visual effects were the human characters. The issue with making a film that is very reliant on CGI and visual effects is the mere fact that technology advances at a very rapid rate, so therefore these films don't tend to age very well. And I'm very sorry to say that Revenge of the Sith is not immune to this. The visual effects and the CGI, they might have looked groundbreaking and amazing at the time that the film was released, but watching this film again just a couple of days ago, I felt like I was watching a cutscene from a video game the entire time. Pretty much all of the CGI and visual effects is so dated, and by looking at it, you can just tell that it's fake. And that's not a good thing because, in the movies, you are supposed to sell reality. You are supposed to be able to believe in the story, believe in the world, and be able to get yourself invested in it. However, with all the fake ass CGI and visual effects lying around, it always took me right out of the movie. Like, you guys know that upcoming video game, Star Wars Battlefront 2? Like, the visual effects and CGI look like that video game. I'm not gonna lie. Just by watching the trailers for Battlefront 2, I mean, it hasn't come out yet, I can't wait for it. But to me, the visual effects in this movie look exactly like that video game. And that is not a good look at all for a movie. And the other big thing about the visual effects is that I really feel like George Lucas was just like, oh, let's just show off with what we can do with all of our latest technology, and that took away from the story that he was trying to tell. The biggest example of this is the Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight at the end of the film. When the battle starts off, it's great, it's emotional, and you're very invested in it. However, as this battle rages on, it turns into this huge CGI fest, and it becomes less and less about what is going on between these two characters. Oh, why don't we have the bridge that they're standing on fall down so we can show them this really cool CGI effect that we have? Or let's have them go down a waterfall of lava so we can show them this really cool CGI effect that we have. Or why don't we have them like swing like Tarzan so we can CGI this entire amazing background. Now let's have them dodge some lava rocks because we don't care about what is going on between these two characters. We just want to show you guys some great CGI. And I gotta say that because of that, like, even though I was invested in this battle when it first started, a couple minutes into it, I just found myself so bored and just wanting it to be over already. And that is such a shame because this entire trilogy has been building up to this battle, and when you finally get to it, it's nothing. It's a boring CGI fest that is uninteresting, that is uninspired. Like, this trilogy could have ended on a very high note, but because of that, it ends, like, it falls flat on its face. So overall, while Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is better than the previous two installments, it's still not good. Like, it's still a very poorly done, very poorly executed film, and I'm glad that I'm done with the prequels now, because I can move on to the good stuff. On my rating scale, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith gets a 5.5 out of 10. So, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, have you guys seen it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or do you want to see it? Why or why not? Comment down below. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe today for more content. Farewell, citizens of our nation. Catch you all next time.